Hey everybody, welcome. I'm Dr. Mike Vandermark. I'll be with you for the next 8 weeks. I'm just browsing through our book here, Flawless Consulting, and this is, of course, ORGD 6340 Consulting Skills. So welcome to class. If I've had you in class before, hello again. It's good to see you. If I could see you, I guess you could see me. I can't see you, but welcome to 6340. It's a great course. I think you'll really like it. And the reason that you'll like it, as far as I'm concerned, is it's very pragmatic. It's very practical skills oriented. A lot of discussion, not a lot of highly complex academic reading. I mean, the book here, the Peter Block, I think you can see this. Great book, one of the best consultant gurus, I think, in the area of organization development, certainly as far as I'm concerned, throughout the past 20 years. And we'll be looking at not only his book, but several short video clips that Peter has put together over the years. And you can certainly visit his site. I think there's a link to the site. There is. And you can get to know a little bit more about Peter and his work. Very unique approach to consulting. So a little bit about the course. If you, again, if you've had me in previous courses, it's the same format. The way that I set up my courses is to avoid APA essay type papers. If you like those, you can certainly get your fill in many other courses at the university. I choose to use non-formatted APA documents, so we don't have any APA formatted essays. What we do have instead is a weekly quiz. Every week there's a quiz that has 20 questions on it, and you get one per week. And then in addition to that, there are 4 discussion questions per week, many of them, at least 2, maybe 3, linked to either an audio lecture of mine, a Peter Block video, a coaching parody. I use parodies of music in my teaching. Some of you already know that. So here's a new set of parodies that are used in the area of coaching. Why? Because consultants are often in the role of coach. And to me, and I think Peter Block and others would agree, that a coach is often in the role of a consultant, and the consultant often in the role of a coach. Let's see, the course has 1,000 points. And if you have looked through the week 1 threads at the very bottom, there's one called Track Your Points. And that's the resource to use to track your points for the course, as opposed to something through Blackboard. The way that I assign the course and their arithmetic and formulas don't coincide very well. So the easiest thing to do is just use Track Your Points. And each week you'll get either some number of up to a maximum of 40 points for discussion. That's 10 points per question, 4 questions per week, 40 points. And in addition, each of the 20 true-false questions are worth 4.25, 4¼ points. If you do the math, if you get all of the quiz questions and all of the discussion questions at maximum value, that's 125 points each week. Times 8 weeks is 1,000 points. So by entering your points per week in the Track Your Points, you can see how much you're earning and where you stand in terms of percentages, and simple arithmetic by dividing whatever number of points that you have by the total number that were available by that time. Say the end of week 4, there's 500 points. Take whatever amount of points you have, divide it by 500, there's your percentage score for the course. So that's how you can track your points. The way the course is laid out, again, as I mentioned, there's a number of Peter Block videos that I use to spark the discussion questions. In addition, some discussion questions of my own. The discussion questions, as you will see, 3 of them, generally 3, I think only 3, but there might be 4 at some time, but typically 3 of the 4 of the discussion questions each week require you to respond to the question with 125 words or more, and then to respond to another student, to try to find somebody who hasn't had a response from anyone yet, but to another student's post in response to the question. So you're going to respond to the question itself, and then find someone who has also responded to the question and reply to them. And you'll notice that the discussion questions are due on typically Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And the reason for those due dates is to get the discussion moving early in the week and to avoid some people who I've seen in the past want to show up on Sunday and do all their work on Sunday, but the university cannot allow that for accreditation reasons. They have got to cause online courses to have participation throughout the week in order to be able to offer online courses. So that's why that's set up the way that it is. Let's see, what else can I tell you? As I mentioned, it's a good course. It has to do with consulting skills. Now, if you're not planning to go out into the world and do organization development consulting, these consulting skills can also be used by internal managers, leaders, military members, regardless of your rank. Because what we're really trying to do is influence others and get others to think about who they are and what they want and what's important to them. The business aspect of consulting, the entering and contracting and data, gathering data and developing relationships and setting fees and all that is also discussed. What's missing, and only because it's an online course and it's very difficult to do this online, is the face-to-face practice. I teach a number of face-to-face consulting workshops for clients and for one other university. And because we're face-to-face, you can actually practice consulting skills. I can be a client and you can work with me, and in some cases I can bring in guests who are actual clients. But because we're online, which certainly has its advantages, we won't be able to work face-to-face, but we certainly will be able to get as close to that as possible with video and audio and things like this. Let's see, what else can I tell you? We're starting today. Today, well, I'm posting this a couple of days early, but of course the course starts on January 12th and it ends on, I believe it's Friday, I want to say March 3rd or 4th or something. But Friday of the week, of the 8th week, Friday of the 8th week of class at 5 o'clock Central Standard Time, Texas time, the course ends. And I'm making that comment now because it seems every once in a while I'll find that the quiz for the week 8 hasn't been posted by somebody, and I get a message over the weekend that says, oh, please take my quiz. I didn't know that it ended on Friday. I thought we had to Sunday like we always have the previous 7 weeks, and please accept this quiz. And it's important to know that faculty members are strictly prohibited from, by policy and by job security, from taking work after the end of a course. So I can tell you right now, if quizzes are late and they're not posted by Sunday at midnight, which is the due date on weeks 1 through 7, if they're late and there's no arrangement with me, then I have to say, sadly, but at graduate level work, after the fact excuses, they're not gonna, they won't cut the mustard, folks. They just won't cut the mustard, and you'll have to take a hit on that quiz or your discussion post. So everything is posted early. You have a full week to take the quiz, and with the exception of week 8. And week 8, the quiz is due by 5 o'clock Central Standard Time on Friday, the 8th week of class. After that, even if it meant the loss of points and failing the course, the quiz and the questions will not be available after 5 o'clock on Friday, week 8. Again, the reason I'm saying this is I just completed a couple courses before the holiday break, and in the past, over the course of my 14 years now with UIW, there just are certain times when people, for some reason, they just don't get the message, and they don't get their weekly work done, or they don't get that eighth week done, and they either fail or nearly fail the course, have to take it again. So week 8, 5 o'clock, course is over. Let's see, what else? I try to make the course as consistent week to week. You'll see there's 4 discussion questions. There's a post required for each of the discussion questions. There is a lecture, audio lecture. Sometimes there's a video YouTube like this of me. Sometimes there are many videos from Peter Block and a few coaching parodies that are music set to different words. Some people say, you know, that's old music. I'd say, well, it's music from my generation, so we got Beatles hits and things like that. If you don't like the music, that's not the important part. You know, make your way through the lyrics and the questions. There are questions embedded into the parody analysis PowerPoint deck. So you'll see this as you get underway. Each week you'll watch a parody and you'll go, okay, fine, I get it. And then you click on a file that opens up a PowerPoint slideshow, and you click through the slideshow, and as you do, questions will pop up. Don't worry about writing them down, because the final slide summarizes all the questions and directs you back to previous slides if you need to see them. And that's usually, I think, the fourth discussion question of each week. So very interesting coaching parodies, many of them. I think there's 7 or 8 that I use throughout the course because coaching is so important. Let's see. Talked about attendance. Yeah, a couple of other things. Once in a while I see that a student doesn't participate in any of the discussion questions. No show, I mean nothing, but completes the quiz. That doesn't work, folks. You don't have the option in an online class to just sort of not appear, kind of like an on-ground class. I don't want to go to class, I just want to show up and take the final or the midterm. That won't work for accreditation reasons for the university. So if you are a no-show in the discussion threads but take the quiz, your quiz score will be 0. And the reason for that is to more or less ensure and create a process that causes everybody to show up and participate. Hopefully you'll enjoy the course so much, you'll want to show up and participate. It really is. If you're interested in coaching, consulting, and so on, this is a great course. If you're taking it and you don't have much interest in it, it can still be very useful to you. And gosh, I think that's it. If I haven't covered anything and you've got a few questions, by all means, you can post them as a reply to this post, or you can use questions for Dr. Mike thread, or you can email me via my email addresses. I have a Mike Vandermark at cox.net and Vanderma, V-A-N-D-E-R-M-A, at uiwtx.edu. Those are in the syllabus and here in the threads. My Cox address, if you want to really get a message to me quickly, use the Cox address, but copy, so we have a university record. Copy me on the uiwtx.edu UIW address. And that's it for now. So I'm happy to have you with us. I hope you enjoy the course. I think it's a good one. And I will, as I say often, I'll see you in the threads. Take care, everybody.